Hello, amazing people. Thank you so much for coming to my very first episode. Really excited to get this project off the ground. Been thinking about it for a long time. I've learned so much, and I'd love to share everything that I've gathered. And it's not for a company, not for any project, not for any brand, 100% for you. So welcome to On-Chain Briefs, where I'm going to be helping decode all the noise, all the chaos, all the hype, and talk about the reality, the most important thing. How does it apply to you and me and our families and our communities? If you're an entrepreneur, you got to listen. If you're a business owner, you've got to listen. If you don't really understand and you're just employee or working for yourself, you need to pay attention, because regardless of your walk of path, regardless of what you're doing, we are experiencing the biggest shift in human history. Again, the biggest shift we've ever seen is happening right before our eyes. And a lot of people are missing the big picture. And that's my goal and objective, to hopefully share the big picture so we can optimize, we can profit, we can position ourselves in the biggest shift with the most valuable asset, and something more valuable than Bitcoin, more valuable than diamonds and oil and gold. It's you. You're the most scarce, the most valuable, the most precious asset in the universe is you. There's only one of you. And when we combine a collective, we become the most valuable asset in the entire universe. And this is what I want to be talking about today. In the first episode, we're going to go big picture to set the scene, to set the foundation for all the future on briefs. We're going to be talking about other news, but today we're going to talk foundation, talking about the biggest shift, how it's impacting every single person on this call, and that's going to impact all of our kids and all future generations. And they're going to determine what we do today is going to change the next 5 to 10 to 20 years of our lives. So I'm excited to jump in, share everything I've learned over the last 20 years, more specifically 3 years being in the blockchain, in the Web3 space, everything I've learned. Promise you this is worth your while. So welcome to episode 1. We're going to talk big picture, and more importantly, how it all applies to you. And if you don't have a plan, absolutely no problem. We have a community, we already have a plan, and we're all going in the same direction to liberate and empower our social capital, the number one asset in the entire world. So buckle up, enjoy, and thank you so much for the very first episode of anything I've ever done. Hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. We're going to be jumping into some facts, figures, and numbers so we can understand what is going on. So welcome again to the first episode, On-Chain Briefs with On-Chain Mind. Alex Krapov. Let's just jump right into it. First, I want to show, and let's talk about where are we? How have things changed? Do you remember a world where everything used to be offline? I absolutely do. I'm a millennial. I was born in 1984, so I was born before the internet, went to school before the internet. If I liked a girl, I would send her a note, not drop her a Snapchat or drop in her DMs. It was a much simpler life, but much less connected life. It was kind of isolated to your area, and maybe you knew some people around the country, but really, you didn't really know what was happening everywhere else unless you were consuming traditional offline type of media or communications. And then fast forward, look at this now, 2024, there's 5.5 billion people now onto the internet. 5.2 billion of them are using social media. This means now humanity has transformed, an absolute brand new way to connect. For the last 30 years, we can't even remember a time before you could send a message, watch a YouTube. I have to remember, I'm still in awe of this technology. So this is now where we're at. And now this interface, this platform, this reality of the internet is going to the next phase. It's now evolving. It's going to be creating opportunities. It's going to be creating leverage. It's going to be creating tools that we've never imagined because they've never existed before. And we've never been in this point of period where technology is making a quantum leap as we speak. So this is what we're talking about. So if you're in business, number one thing, all the business I've been with, multiple billion-dollar companies, before we had a product or a project, we'd look at the market size. We would look, how is the market size? Is it growing or is it shrinking? If you're going to have the greatest product in the world in a shrinking market, it is a dead end. So you'd rather be a small fish in a big pond or a pond that is growing, an ocean, a blue ocean. And this is what we're looking at today. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. So in front of you is the Capital One shopping research. You can see here as of 2022, there have been 3.4 billion digital wallets. That means it's not only somebody that's created a social media profile or connected to the internet, they have their money online. That means they're engaged in the economy. They're contributing and they're extracting from the economy. They're part of this biggest economy we've ever seen, multiple trillions of dollars. And the most beautiful thing, the most valuable asset is us. We are the people with the money. We are the data that's being created. So let's take a quick look. I remember even when the first cell phones came out, when people were just so skeptical of having an online credit card, having an online bank account. Look at this, 2023, more often than not, 53% of people will use a digital wallet. 34 will use it less often. Maybe they do cash, other ways of payment. Equally, it's 10%, and then not sure is 3%. What this shows me, in the 3 decades, we now have had mass adoption. If you're not online, you really don't exist. Now we're going to be talking about the next phase is going to be, if you're not on chain, you're not going to have a business, or you're going to be some massive opportunities. So let's go a little bit deeper. So now, Out of the 5.5 billion, we know that 3.4 billion have wallets. So take a little bit deeper. What does that even mean? You can see that the digital wallet market, as report reveals, that it's predicted to grow $16 trillion by 2028 amidst rising adoption and technology. Welcome. This is what I'm going to be discussing. What is this adoption and what technology are you talking about that is going to be 16 trillion in the next what are we, 24? Next 4 years. This is absolutely stunning. Now imagine in this new economy, the decentralized economy, imagine 17, 16 trillion dollars being decentralized. Where is it going to be going? It's going to be going to those that are creating the blockchain, those that are creating their infrastructure, those that are in the blockchain. These companies are moving and migrating to Web3. You can see here how public blockchains will catalyze institutional decentralized finance. There's TradFi, traditional finance, is now moving to decentralized finance. And decentralizes by nature of the blockchain. It decentralizes everything. And we're going to be going into that in other episodes. But this is most important. Look at this. The tokenized asset market is set for explosive growth. I'm going to zoom in on that bad boy. Like $16 trillion by 2023. Guys, $16 trillion. It's interesting, because on the other slide, we said $16 trillion in transactions between wallets by 2028. And now I would assume that that 16 trillion is just going to be those 16 trillion adopted on blockchain 2 years later. Again, they're not making new money. They're they're revealing, they're exposing, they're freeing up the money. And these institutions are getting ready. Who are going to be connected to? Where is your wallet going to be connected to? 95% of the people are going to connect once again to another platform. There'll be decentralized user connected to a centralized blockchain platform. So for them, life will continue the same and probably get significantly more complicated, and all the while giving away your value. So we got the big institutions do it. So let's take some evidence. Let's look at some evidence. Not take some evidence. Let's take a quick look. Let's see what the big boys are doing. You guys heard of Citibank? Heard of JP Morgan? And six, finally see the big business in blockchain. The biggest banks have turned to blockchain to renew their processes, but they are making sure to build a seamless bridge between the old and new. Again, I'm going to even zoom in on that. So important. A seamless bridge between old and new. So you're probably thinking here, Alex, cool, these companies are going on blockchain, they're going on infrastructure. Who cares? I'm not going to do it. I don't know anything about it. The reality is you're either going to change from curiosity or you're going to change from force. At the end of the day, these institutions are preparing for blockchain, not for fun. They're not investing billions of dollars and lots of man hours. Look, take a look at this. It says right here, blockchain isn't only a side project for these world biggest banks and exchanges. The technology and the underpinning crypto is a big business with hundreds of employees focused on building systems that will help overhaul traditional finance. Again, TradFi is going to DeFi. So hopefully it's very, very clear. Follow the money. What is the money doing? It's getting ready. Not only ready, they're getting ready to launch. Now let's look at some other businesses maybe you're familiar with. This is mind-blowing. Stripe acquires stablecoin platform Bridge in record $1.1 billion deal. Again, guys, follow the money. Money talks. Everything else is noise. So when other people are looking at crypto and looking at other things, great. You can get rich. Absolutely support it. But look what the big platforms are doing, like Stripe. Stripe, one of the biggest platforms for credit card processing. What have they done? According to fintech giant, Stripe has acquired stablecoin platform Bridge for $1.1 billion, according to TechCrunch founder Michael Arrington. This makes Stripe's largest acquisition ever and the most valuable deal in cryptocurrency industry thus far. Guys, the money is going here. The new innovations are moving on chain. Everything is moving. What does that tell me? It means I'm going to wake up one day, everything I'm doing is going to be on chain. And for me, I'm not going to sleep on this. I was a young kid when the internet came, and there were some people I know, they took advantage. They learned what an email was, and they went a step further. They started making an email list. And once the internet really came online, when things were easier, when applications were easier, when we had hardware and the iPhones and the iPads and all of the gadgets, then these people became online marketers because they were online and they had a base to market to. Whatever they were currently doing, now they had a completely new communication avenue to market their business internationally and absolutely globally. So with that being said, Stripe, imagine now Stripe is positioning themselves to be the leader in credit card processing. So massive, massive step. It doesn't stop there. So what's happening on the other end? The path forward to DeFi from TradFi is the Web3 side is also working. So as TradFi is moving towards this new economy, the new economy that's being built is starting to move towards the TradFi. And pretty soon it's going to mesh and it's going to dissolve. You're not going to know where one stops and one starts. That is the reality. And you can see Web3 companies, they're starting to create paths for institutional adoptions. They're creating it. If you build it, they will come. All of these companies are looking for infrastructure. They're investing. So you can see now we have the Web3 side is also building, making it easier to use, more simple, more user-friendly because, magic word, mass adoption. Those that get the mass adoption are going to be the game winners. So with that being said, hopefully that lays out. We're going through the biggest shift. Web3, Web2 is moving to Web3. It's just from one type of database to a ledger type of database, which creates many, many opportunities. We're going to be going into that power, but what can we do? So this is why I'm doing this series, the on-chain briefs, is because it's for you, not for a company, not for a product, not for a brand. It's for you, the decentralized user. What is your plan? How are you going to capitalize? Are you just going to merely survive, just let it pass by and continue doing what you're doing? Well, we have the biggest chance to change our generational wealth. I'm not talking crypto. I'm talking infrastructure. I'm talking creating assets of value in the biggest liquidity event, having an asset that adds value to that new market, doesn't take away from it. You become indispensable, an asset that becomes a necessity. It's going to be dependent. All of this technology depends on one thing and the only thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called people. So how do the people connect? How does a normal person connect? This is the beautiful thing. Now we're going from a platform economy to a social decentralized economy, meaning we can own a piece of the new internet. I know it sounds crazy, but you can own a little piece of the internet and then people can start to connect to each other. And that starts to make a web, a mesh, truly a rug. This rug you own or you co-own. Everybody that comes in becomes a co-owner. And this is called a decentralized Web3 autonomous self-governing. There's no governance. There's no platform. There's no CEO. There's no company. There's no one someone telling you what to do. The community votes. The community is democratic. They share in the responsibility and they profit and they share in the profits. And the last O is organization. That's us. That's people connecting. Where people start to connect, we start to form an organization. This is a remarkable, remarkable trend. So here, you can see on CryptoDose, you can see a brief history, and this isn't a new concept. Since 1960 to 1970, the first mentions of decentralized concept in academic journals, laying the foundation for future developments. Guys, 1960, the tech wasn't there. The concept was there. The idea, the philosophy was there. And you can continue going up and up and up and up. And now we're in 2022 and beyond. DAOs continue to evolve. I'm going to zoom in on this bad boy. 2022 and beyond, DAOs continue to evolve and significantly shape the future of Web3 and decentralized organizations. So this is going to be absolutely something you need to pay attention to. Nobody is talking about it, but it's coming into the awareness. And you are probably the 1% of the world that even knows this exists. But we are not alone. Look at this. The number of active users has been skyrocketing for DAOs, with more and more organizations adopting the DAO model. Business owners, companies, there's LLC, there's S Corp, there's all those different entities. The DAO is an actual recognized business entity, but instead of having a couple shareholders, everybody that connects to the DAO becomes a shareholder. Fundamentally different. If you're a part owner of a project and you have profits, completely different mindset and mentality. You do what's the best interest for the community because you're a part owner of the community. Again, if there's anything that happened, you can pivot, you can talk, you can synergy. True synergy, true cross-pollination, people working together. This is nature. This is natural. This is how we shouldn't be divided. Imagine all the different apps you're on. What if you had it on one app, all your people in one organization? You can do all the things you do on the internet. And this is the power of the DAOs. And you can see how many DAOs are in there in 2023. As of April 2023, the total number of DAOs reached 12,872. So again, people have been working on this. They see the vision. Again, since 1960, this isn't new. So, and it is only booming. Let's see what else is relevant for us. How big is the DAO market size in 2023? The combined market capitalization of all of these kind of projects in these decentralized organizations can be around a product, about a project, around a token, any kind of product or service or anything in decentralized. And it's almost reached $60 billion. And you probably haven't even heard of it. So this is powerful. And I believe this is the one way that we can equalize what's happening. We're not going to fight the BlackRocks. They're projecting 290 trillion in tokenization. They're taking the whole world. They want to tokenize every land, everything. You're going to be able to tokenize your ideas. You're going to be tokenize your time, your chickens, your goats. Every real world asset is going to go digital. It's because it's great for people and it's phenomenal for businesses. And you can see why so many people, look at this, number of DAO members increased 130 times in 2021 to 1.6 million. So you can see it is a booming. People that are ahead of the game. I imagine these are the people that understand what an email is. That's your DeFi wallet. They understand the power of an email list that's connecting your DeFi wallet to other DeFi wallets. So you start to build those connections. Understand? So then once Web3 is now everyone, your grandma, your grandpa is starting to understand. They got a little crypto in their bank account, in their ETFs, and their retirement because it's an asset. It's going to be another asset, just like foreign exchange. The people that understood this, all they have to do is push a button. If they have a project, if they have anything, they push a button and it can go out to millions of people that they co-own that relationship. And all the money that's made starts to come back to each other. So you can see 1.6 million people already starting to understand. Most important thing about that we can do about it is we can first take empowerment of ourselves.